everyone, my name is Bekah and I'm here to do some active storytelling with you. Today's story is Too Many Chickens by Paulette, Bourgeois and illustrated by Slavin. As always, we're going to need our 4 actor tools to help bring our story to life. And those are our bodies, our voices, our minds, and our imaginations. So let's use those actor tools to bring too many chickens to life. Mrs. Kerr's class wiggled and squiggled and giggled. Farmer Barry had brought eggs, a dozen eggs that would soon be chicks. They were oval and speckled and smelled like a chicken coop. Ooh, can you show me how excited you were to see all these little eggs? Good job. But Michael Alexander wrinkled his nose. Mrs. Kerr rolled her eyes and asked Farmer Barry to put the eggs in an incubator. The class took good care of the eggs. They turned them and checked them. They worried about them at night. Looks like Michael Alexander thinks the eggs are a little smelly. Can you make a face like something was smelly? Good job. And then on the 21st day, a crack marbled the surface of an egg. The crack widened. Rat-a-tat-tat, needle to beak. Can you tap on the floor on the wall to make a sound of the rat-a-tat-tat? Good job. For the very first time, Mrs. Kerr's class was still. The eggs opened one by one, like ice cracking in the spring. All the chicks hatched. They were the color of sweet butter and as soft as cotton balls. Ooh. The principal came to see the chicks. Mr. Rufus, the custodian, came to see the chicks. Even the 6th graders came to see the chicks. Aren't they cute, they cooed. And the chicks went, peep. Can we peep like the little chicks? Ready? Peep, peep, peep. Nice job. And they tried to hop over the edge of the brooder. On Monday, Farmer Barry was supposed to come and get the chicks, but she never arrived. By Thursday, the chicks were big enough to jump. Mrs. Kerr was worried. Can you make a worried face? Ooh. Let's see what happens with the chickens. Every day, they grew a little bit bigger. They were noisy and speckled, and they smelled like a chicken coop. They roosted on the science table and pecked under the desks. They clawed at the carpet. They took baths in the sink and shook their soggy feathers on the art supplies. They were always hungry. Mrs. Kerr kept a bag of seed in her desk. The rooster found his crowing voice, and the hens never stopped chattering. Can we cock-a-doodle-doo like the rooster? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Good job. I can't stand this anymore, screamed Michael Alexander when a chicken walked across its brand new notebook. They are noisy and ugly and they stink. Ooh, Michael Alexander looks very angry. Can you make an angry face and pose? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice job. It was true. The chicks weren't cute anymore, and they did smell. Nobody visited room 17, not even Mr. Rufus, the custodian. Then the hens started laying eggs. Michael Alexander painted a sign, and Mrs. Kerr taught the chicken how to reach under the hens and gather eggs. Fresh eggs for sale. Can we pretend to gather some eggs to sell? Ready? Pick up an egg and put it in your lap. And pick up another one and put it in your lap. Pick up one and be very, very gentle. Make sure you don't squeeze it too hard and gently put it in your lap. Good job. Finally, Farmer Barry came. She was very apologetic. She already had so many chickens that she had forgotten to pick up the chicks. Farmer Barry looked around room 17 and grinned. Oh, these chickens look so happy, she said. I can't bear to take them away. Before Mrs. Kerr could interrupt, Farmer Barry added, and here's a little present for all you've done. Michael Alexander shuddered, and Mrs. Kerr rolled her eyes. Bunnies, she said. How cute. Can we look at the little little bunnies? Can you make a little bunny face? Wiggle your nose like a bunny. Maybe you make little bunny ears. Good job. The rabbits had long white fur, pink eyes, and crinkly wet noses. The principal came to see the bunnies. Mr. Rufus came to see the bunnies. Even the 6th graders came to see the bunnies. Soon, there were 4 more bunnies. Mrs. Kerr had to build a bigger cage, and she kept carrots and alfalfa in her desk. Before long, there were 16 bunnies. But Mrs. Kerr wasn't worried. Michael Alexander painted a new sign, and Mrs. Kerr taught the class how to knit. Genuine Angora hats for sale. Ooh, can we pretend to knit some hats? Ready? Put your knitting needles together. Nice job. And put on that nice warm hat. Good job, everybody. Soon, everyone was wearing an Angora hat, even Farmer Barry. Why, she was so happy with her new hat, she gave Mrs. Kerr's class a present. Uh-oh, what do you think she's going to give the class this time? Can you tell you're grown up? Let's see what it is. Michael Alexander gasped. Mrs. Kerr rolled her eyes. And there, outside the school, hunched over the grass, was a great big old nanny goat. Oh my goodness. Can we go mat like a goat together? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mat. Good job. Oops. That old goat smells, says Michael Alexander. I know, says Mrs. Kerr. At least she eats the grass, said Michael Alexander. And I think Mr. Rufus likes her, said Mrs. Kerr. The class didn't know what to do with the old goat, but Mrs. Kerr wasn't worried. Michael Alexander painted another sign, and Mrs. Kerr kept apples in her desk and taught the children how to milk. Fresh goat milk for sale. People liked the goat's milk. Mr. Rufus bought 2 glasses every morning and said he'd never felt better. By now, Mrs. Kerr's class had earned so much money from selling eggs and milk and hats, they decided to buy a small farm for all the animals. And since Mr. Rufus liked his Angora hat, goat's milk, and fresh eggs so much, he said that he'd like to live there too. Ooh, look at that nice farm for all the animals. They're probably a lot happier there than in the classroom. The children no longer had to milk and knit and gather eggs. Michael Alexander had no more signs to make. Mrs. Kerr finally had time to teach what she was supposed to teach. And then Mrs. Kerr announced we're going to learn about seeds, she announced. And then Mrs. Kerr pulled 4 packets of seeds from her desk drawer. Jack and the Beanstalk bean seeds, giant pumpkin seeds, mile-high popping corn seeds, and bursting bloom tomato seeds. The children smirked, and Michael Alexander got out his paints. The end. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. As always, I encourage you to support the arts by donating to your local arts organization. My favorites that I've worked with are down in the description below, but you can always donate to any local organization you feel needs it most. If you're looking for more children's books to read, check out your local library's digital resources. There's lots of wonderful free children's books available just at the touch of a button. Thank you guys again for joining me, and I'll be back with more stories soon. Bye!